as often is the case, I should be working, but instead of that, I am tempted to watch some videos. I'm going to watch this Q&A with Matt McCoy, founder of Loop Community, as he reveals some new features of the Prime app as they're redesigning it, and I'm going to respond in real time. Now, you may not know this, but I spent almost 5 years at MultiTracks.com as someone who led the team that developed the Playback app. And that was really, really fun. I'm thankful to be doing what I'm doing now. One, working for myself, and two, teaching and training people how to use Ableton Live tracks on stage as opposed to being a product person, product manager. But I do miss that conversation. So when I saw this pop up on YouTube, I thought this would be fun to watch in real time. I know Matt. Matt is a really good friend. He's a great guy. I love what he and Loop Community do. But let's watch this as he talks about some of the brand new features of Loop Community. And again, I'll respond in real time. So here we go.
For the Prime app, let the people know.
Oh, good question. A lot of things, some things I can't share.
Turn this up a little.
It's top secret. But I'll say this. I will show you some screenshots of what we're working on. All right?
Amazing.
But before I show you those screenshots, let me say this. If you're a Prime user, you probably know that we haven't updated the app in quite a while. Matt, did you know that the Prime app was the very first app available for iPad, iPhone that allowed worship leaders to run MultiTracks? The very first.
Which is true. I remember they beat MultiTracks.
A decade ago, 10 years ago.
To the
Loop Community pioneered the entire idea of running tracks from a mobile device.
Yep.
At the time, worship leaders were using their computer running software like Ableton Live or Logic.
Right.
But we were like, there had to be an easier way.
MultiTracks was working on Playback, but it wasn't out when
10
Prime
years ago.
released.
Yeah.
And since
Which that's
then,
crazy. That's 10 years ago. That doesn't.
A bunch of
right,
other companies have
so.
followed us and done the same thing. We launched Prime in 2012, and since then we've added a ton of new features that worship
2012
leaders
is
have
10 years
requested.
ago. That's nuts. Okay, here we go.
And
I'll shut up.
the thing is that app development and coding has changed a lot over the past decade.
Yep.
The original code base for Prime is old and needs updated. We wanted to keep.
I remember
adding
MultiTracks
features
went
to
through
the app,
this.
but we realized.
I'll pause so I can talk for a second. There was Playback Pro. There was just Playback Intro. We wanted to combine those into two apps, so that was a whole thing that took a lot of work. And then there was also redoing the audio engine to add transitions and a lot of stuff that was a lot of work for like 6 months and no one ever saw. Completely rebuilding the audio engine, which was no fun. And again, I'm super thankful I'm not in that world anymore.
Instead of developing new features using old.
It's a smart move on his part
frameworks.
To rebuild the app.
So
it's really good.
That's what we've been doing.
I hope that brings
That's what
more
we've been very busy doing.
desktop
and
type
why
features.
You
We'll
haven't seen
see.
any Prime updates.
You're making the desktop app a little more
because
desktop-y.
any new features that we would have built and added on in the past year, we would have to just rebuild anyway from scratch in the long run.
That's smart.
Yeah.
So
that's the hard part of being an app developer is balancing new features
and we've been
with
busy
fixing, cleaning up code, that sort of stuff.
The Prime app. We're building the next generation of the Prime app. All the same features that worship leaders love, but new and improved. We're also adding new features like MIDI bus routing, so you could have lighting down a different MIDI bus and lyrics down a different MIDI bus or guitar
Which I know
pedals.
that's in Playback.
We're adding a pad player. We're adding automatic audio routing for interfaces. So this is something that...
Which I will say, that is the feature, one of the features I'm the most proud of at MultiTracks that, well, I mean, it's not prideful, it's that if it's the case, but that I pioneered. I said, hey, what if we could basically say, when you plug in this interface, we're going to automatically route stuff for it. And the developer at the time said, yeah, that's super easy. And I gave him a list of if you have this type of outputs, do this, do that. So if you get the wrong outputs when you plug in, it's my fault because I came up with that list. And maybe hopefully we've changed it since now. But automatic output routing, I was so proud of that feature in Playback. I think it's a great feature.
It frustrates me every week when I lead worship. I'm like having to like tap and set the outputs.
That's huge. That's going to be huge for Prime.
That's kind of annoying. And that's a feature, that's something I want to solve because
it's the
it would make my life
feature
easier too. So automatic audio routing.
That's great, Matt.
We're also partnering with a chord chart app called Music Stand to provide chord charts that sync with your Prime setlist and song arrangements. So everybody on your team can have their iPad up. And as Prime is going through the setlist, on everybody's iPad, the charts update depending on what song you're
Yeah.
doing.
Which you can do
And
that with
as you go through
Ableton
the
and
song, let's
OnSong
just
or
say you jump to the
Fourscore,
chorus.
any of those
Well,
apps.
on everybody's
Playback
iPad,
can
the
do
chorus
that
would be
with Chart
highlighted
Builder, but this is
to
great
show
because
that.
it
So
uses
those are
Sam.
some of the features we're
That'll be
working
really,
on
really
for
good.
Prime.
That's
Yeah.
great, Matt.
The new version of Prime will
Good
be
stuff.
totally next level and worth the wait, I promise.
I
We
shrugged at Pad
plan
Player
on
because
launching the app
I think
in
that's
March
just
of 2023.
I think that's
if
a
everything goes to plan. So
unnecessarily
do you want to see some
complicated
screenshots?
thing to add
Absolutely.
into
I have
an
not
app.
seen
But
anything, by the way, in case anyone's curious. These are pretty much brand
that's
new
just
to
my
me as
personal
well, so
opinion.
I'm
All right.
particularly stoked.
This is what the new Prime generation looks like.
Yeah.
So it's a whole new interface.
Looks good.
It's just like a
Wow.
lot cleaner, updated, new
I wish
color
you would
scheme.
show
This is the
what
dark
the
mode version.
desktop version looked
You got
like.
the
Pretty
pad
cool.
player down here, set list. You can see the MIDI buses here that you can show and hide quickly. In the inside, you know, what we're doing is we're enhancing the set list and the library search.
That's such a big thing. I remember working with my buddy Jay when we were redesigning the playback menu and trying to make that modern stuff. Like, that's a thing that no one ever thinks about, but is a
So
big
now you
deal.
can actually
So
see
that's
you can
pretty
filter
cool.
by premium tracks or community tracks or the type of track it is. Just a much stronger, robust song
Yeah.
library search.
Yeah, it looks
We
good.
also have a light mode that we're working on. So here's kind of like what the light mode looks like on the main interface. So it kind of still has that.
It's interesting.
Prime
I would say
vibe and
I'm
feel,
not
right?
a
But we
Definitely.
brought it
dark
up to
mode user, but I actually like the
2022,
dark mode look of
and
that
it just
better
looks a
than I
lot
do the
newer.
light
It's going to
mode
be just a lot smoother,
version
more
of that.
animations, more.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah, that's
awesome.
awesome.
And it's going to have all that other stuff that I was just talking about.
Yeah, that's such a big
MIDI bus routing,
big thing.
pad player, automatic audio routing,
Good
and
interface.
syncing with a chord chart app so that chord charts are always in sync.
That is going to be awesome. Wow, these look terrific. These are really, really cool.
Yep. So stay tuned because we'll probably need some beta testers. And stay tuned.
I'm happy to help
if
test,
you want to
man.
sign up to test it out for us.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, man, it's tough being in the app business. Again, I'm thankful. I remember Saturdays. I remember one time in particular, being at my son's soccer game on a Saturday, and getting a call that there was some bug in Playback that was affecting X amount of people. And as someone who's not a developer, there was literally nothing I could do other than like just ask the developers, hey, can you solve this? Can you figure it out? But it's tough. I'm glad I'm not in that world again. But yeah, I mean, the UI for this I think looks a lot better. I've always liked how LC has the like full song waveform. I still don't think MultiTracks has that yet. I don't know if they've added that in Playback yet or not. But I've always liked that. I do like that MultiTracks can give you section by section. I see that LC has a little zoom thing, so hopefully that zooms in section by section, which I think would be good. I mean, I think my personal opinion on, I've talked about this in lots of videos before, so I won't go on much longer, but I think these apps are really good when they stay focused on what's really important, which is just really simply playing back tracks. Again, to me, I think Pad Player is a step in the wrong direction. I know it looks like he does have a hide thing, so that would be amazing if that really is the case where you click that little eye. I don't know if you can see this on the UI here where it's got like the little eye option, but if that's the case, that would be amazing. I guess MultiTracks has their button where you hide a different layer. That would be really, really nice because I'm someone that would not use the Pad Player. And I think that's just a level of complexity. That's probably one of the reasons why they had to rebuild the whole app is MultiTracks had to do that, rebuild the whole audio engine to add Pad Player and transitions and things like that in. And I remember there was a big push for like, let's get Pad Player in, let's get Pad Player in. And I kept pushing back on it. And I think some folks thought that was because I was anti the idea, which I was, but I was pushing back on it because we had to get the audio engine done. And so I'm glad we did that back then. Over 5 years ago. So yeah, I get that LC's doing this. Again, for me, I wish Pad Player would come out. I wish all the MIDI stuff would come out. I don't think it's worth doing the work of automating your show using MIDI, using Prime or Playback, because those are closed ecosystems. Your work is stuck there. You can't export it out if you go to Ableton or some other software. And I think it just takes too long to add that sort of stuff in. But let's see if they say anything else here at the end. I think they're done. But
All right. Awesome. Well, I think the last question that I have.
there we go. So yeah, again, congrats to Matt. and the team at LC. I love what they're doing. Matt's a great dude. We've kind of grown in our friendship over the past few years, and just every opportunity I get to hang or chat with him is really good. But those are my thoughts of the brand new look at what's coming with the Prime app. Again, I think that the UI, the interface looks great. The how they're redoing the menu stuff is going to be really cool. I think people are going to enjoy those features. I want to clarify that. Like, I think if you're a Prime user, you probably want a pad player. You probably want MIDI out. I think, again, as someone who's looking at a broader picture, as someone who's been in this world for a long, long time, I would love to just see a simple playback app that's just simple, that doesn't have all that stuff. Because despite what worship leaders may say or think, you do not have to have pads to one, create transitions, or two, to use tracks. I understand that it's helpful, but I think the danger of these apps, again, I've always joked, the minute one of these apps, Playback or Prime, lets you record, it's over with, right? It's done, and it's all just downhill from there. So it's a delicate balance. I would love to see pad player not in the app. I would love to see MIDI stuff not in the app. The auto routing for audio is going to be killer though. So Matt, great job. Thanks for watching. All of my videos aren't just reactions, but if you like this and you like learning how to use tracks on stage, then consider subscribing and enabling the bell icon. I post a brand new tutorial every single day here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.